Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another video, and well, same as last week, I haven't really had a chance to properly go and sit down and, record with Kydros, so again we're doing a bit of a talking head video. Hopefully, in a week or two, we should be back to our usual scheduled programming of Chris and Kydros Sundays. But for now, a bit of a talking head video, and hey, getting to recap the week, and holy hell, how much has happened this week? Like, have you seen the NVIDIA launch? Like, we all knew they were going to be pretty good. Like, it's going to be NVIDIA, they're going to have something to show off, and it'll be very, very impressive. But I tell you what, I wasn't expecting that. From what I heard and what I was aware of up until that point, we were expecting around about, give or take, 5,000 CUDA cores, 24 gigs of RAM, which was expected, and it being around about £2,000 or $2,000 and probably £1,800, probably closer to 2,000 once you factor in availability. So I was expecting it to be extremely expensive, hard to get a hold of stuff, and just stuff like that in general. What I wasn't expecting was what we got. Like, okay, let's just start off with what NVIDIA started with. The 3080, Jesus hell. So they hit us with okay, it's got a huge performance increase. So like double across the board, and in one case it was almost like triple across one spec, I can't remember what it was. Which was a incredibly high increase in blade performance. And I do mean incredibly, let's be fair here. And on top of that, instead of it being about 4,000-ish cores, which we were expecting, oh no, 8,704, like, Jesus. Once they mentioned the core count, I was completely blown away, and the thing that got me on top of that, everybody, now let's be fair, everybody was expecting a huge price hike once again, like they did with Turing. But it looks like they've done quite the opposite, whereas Turing was, well, apparently priced high due to them being uncertain about TSMC's new processor, not sure about the yields and that lot. They decided to go ahead and price it high, but because they've gone ahead and got a new custom process with Samsung and it's working out marvellously, oh, they don't have to do that anymore. Instead, they've gone ahead and jacked the price not at all. I wouldn't say they've jacked the price down because it is the same price as last year, but what this does mean is that you're getting over double the performance for quite literally the same amount of money. We haven't had a unicorn generation like this in probably something like 16 or something years. I think Linus did a video saying like 6600 GT or something like that was the last time this happened. Back in like 2004 or 2006. It was one of the other, I can't quite remember. I haven't watched the video too recently. But the fact that essentially you've got a 3080 which has got more CUDA cores than two 2080 Ti's, has got more ray tracing performance than RTX 2080 Ti, but yet costs, well, give or take, 799, was it? 799 or was it 699? It's something ridiculously low, and I just can't believe it. But I'm gonna go ahead and open it up now because talking video, why not just look it up? So 3080, like, what the hell? How have they managed to price it so? Yeah, so $699. So yeah, $700 or £649 if you're in the UK, which is incredibly low. Like, let's be fair, that is ridiculously low. Considering we were expecting it to be a price hike, whereas this was probably going to go up to like £800, £900, and instead they decided to sort of gift the world, saying, hey, we're going to give you over double the performance in theory for the same money. I'll tell you one thing, I would regret, and I do mean regret, being anybody that would have gone ahead and just bought, a Turing card like the day before. Could you imagine how upset you'd be realising that, oh yeah, that's probably anywhere between £500 and £1,000 or dollar investment? You're not even going to get half your money back now. Oh god, I can't believe it. And then moving on to the 3090, which is just a whole new beast. Like, the 3090 is essentially equivalent to, from what I can tell, it seems to essentially be equivalent to 2 Titan RTXs. Which means you've got, double the cores of a Titan RTX, which is a not insignificant amount of cores, like over 10,000 cores here. You've got the same memory as, same amount of memory as a Titan RTX, so it's essentially seeming like an NVLink Titan RTX with for some reason, the same amount of memory despite it being NVLink. You know what I mean? Or you want to call it an SLI RTX, except without the bugs of having to, you know, play SLI. Instead, it's still a single card, which is just absolute madness. Like, could you imagine a few years ago somebody saying, "Oh yeah, you know, next generation, it'll go ahead and cost almost half that of a Titan of the previous generation, yet have double the performance." And the thing that really blows me away, and the main reason I really want one, is, you know, the Titan, apparently it's going to be 8K capable. 8 freaking K. Like, Jesus, I can't believe it. I genuinely cannot believe it. And if it is going to be, you know, 8K capable, when I do finally get my hands on one, because you can bet your asses I am going to be buying one at some point. I mean, it'd be nice if I could get a review sample, but that's never going to happen. But yeah, for the time being, I definitely am going to be buying one. The second I can get one, I will be getting it, using it on the channel, showing it off, just seeing what this monstrous new little card can actually do, because it is a monster. There is no two words about it. It is just a monster of a card that is unbelievably powerful. I do mean unbelievably. I actually can't get over it. I can't quite believe it, to be honest. It's crazy. But it is very nice, and I will give NVIDIA their dues. They've really brought me round on what I thought of them, because, you know, as you may all know, a week ago I was, you know, like, oh, NVIDIA, it's going to be a price hike, it's going to be miserable, it's going to be the worst launch in a long time, and then they just drop it and just smash it out of the park, out of nowhere, like, completely just whack it right out of the park, out of nowhere, when nobody expected it. I just can't even, I'm still reeling from it. Like, it's been a few days. It's currently the 5th when I'm recording this, because it's going up tomorrow. And I'm still reeling from it, even though it's been like 4 days. It's just so hard to believe that NVIDIA have just gifted us all just a unicorn of a card. Why? I don't know. I'm not going to complain. But I just can't believe it, you know? When we were dealing with just such terrible choices for a long time. Because let's be fair, Turing, as nice as it is, it's always been a rip-off. Yeah. I remember seeing a video that somebody made that essentially, let's go ahead and essentially get them to beta test everything with Turing, and then charge them through the nose for it. And now it's just like, so now you've beta tested Turing, which is essentially Pascal but a little bit extra. Pascal that can ray trace is what we should call Turing. It's not really its own architecture. Well, it is its own architecture, but it just doesn't deserve it with a limited performance increase. And then they just drop the freaking unicorn that is Ampere. I can't believe it. I've probably said that more times than I care to count, but it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, the performance increases. And even when you look at the so-called bottom of the barrel 3070, you know, 2080 Ti performance essentially, for $500 or less. In fact, what's the price in the UK? Because, you know, I live in the UK, I have UK prices, but I don't have a clue what the 3070 price is going to be. So RTX 3070, £470 for something that was recently 1,300, 1,200. Like, almost down to a third of the price. Yeah, less than half. Almost down to a third of the price. Probably realistically 2/5. That's probably where it's sitting at, around about 2/5 of price. Could you imagine this? Like, could you imagine saying this in six months ago, that Ampere will be more than double the performance of Turing without a price increase? And sure, there's a price increase on the 3090, but that's sort of in a league of its own, and it's sort of, I will give them their dues. It does deserve the price increase, considering it's Titan RTX times 2 performance rather than times 2 RTX 2080 Ti's. Like, to be honest, I think they do need a 3080 Ti. In fact, they will come out with 3080 Ti. I bet you that the second that all the consoles are out, so that's Xbox, PlayStation 5, and AMD has done their announcements on what they're doing with their new cards and their new CPUs, NVIDIA will simply go, okay, we're also bringing out a 3070 and a 3080 Ti, and also here's the 3060 for you all. I can guarantee you it. It's what's going to happen. Because it makes perfect sense for them. They've got a huge void in where they're actually, selling stuff. Like, you look at the, the 3080 and look at the 3090. There is quite literally a price difference of double. 3090 is $1,500. The 3080 is $700. And there is a considerable price deficit between the two. And Nvidia knows that there is a market there. There will be a market there, and they are going to fill it at some point. So I can bet you there's going to be a 3080 Ti or something like that. I'm guessing 20 gigs of RAM and probably 9,500 CUDA cores, give or take, and somewhere in between the 3080 and the 3090 in performance. In terms of ray tracing. Because it's bound to happen. Because we've already heard rumours of a 16GB 3070 Ti, which would be a honestly great choice for a lot of people. Like, depending on what the memory is on the 3070 Ti, I might actually go and get one. Because I do want a small card for, my little Big Sky PC. Because that's something that I do need. I do need it to be quite powerful, and I'd like to have ridiculously good performance in it. So if 3070 Ti is compelling enough, if it has enough performance, and it has the memory to back it up, if it's GDR6, then yeah, I will go with a 3070 Ti. But otherwise, I'll probably get a 3080 or 3080 Ti, or a 3090 if, a 3090 of that size actually comes out for it. That's the only problem with it, is that it is limited to 2-slot cards only, because it is an RTX system. It would be nice to put something like a 3090 in a 10-litre case. Could you imagine that? Over 10,000 CUDA cores in a 10-litre case. Like, Jesus, that would be ridiculous. Per litre, you're getting over 1,000 CUDA cores. It's insane. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it will happen. It would be very nice if it did happen. But I'm going to have to wait to see what comes out, because I have done mods and that lot to its power supply to get it ready, because whilst I'm not doing a video on it for the obvious reason of I don't want to encourage people doing electrical engineering work when they aren't qualified, and even I would say that I'm not qualified and I really shouldn't have gone ahead and been doing it in the first place, because I can't guarantee that it's going to work perfectly fine. So, I wouldn't recommend that other people do, because it isn't just a piece of cake. Well, sure, it was a relative piece of cake of just go ahead and, cutting, soldering and all that lot, and attaching wires onto the correct rails. It's not the kind of thing that I'd, advise other people to do. But in other words, it is ready for a 3090. Assuming that there is a dual 8-pin, I'm saying this now, a dual 8-pin with, 2-slot design for a 3090, that would be ideal. If there isn't, then I'd have to hope that there's a 12-pin 3090 that comes out at some point. That is a dual-slot card. But otherwise, then I will probably have to go with 3080, or figure out how to go ahead and get a third PCIe Express connector, because what I've actually done is I've already added an extra 6+2-pin, an actual proper 6+2-pin. But when it comes to, adding a third one, it's just like there isn't enough 12-volt rails onto it. But it would be nice. Could you imagine having that much performance in just that small a space? Like, if there is a 12-pin, then that's perfectly fine, because obviously that uses 2 8-pins. But if there isn't a 12-pin, then I've got issues, like actual genuine issues trying to work out how I'm going to do it. Oh well. But what else has come out? Did you see Intel's laptop keynote? The thing that makes me laugh is, so Intel come out finally with a genuinely convincing mobile argument that this might actually, be a genuine contender for AMD. And what do? Well, let's put it this way. I don't have a clue what the actual name of Intel's new CPU is. What I do. I don't have a clue what the actual name of the Intel's is, but I do know what the competition's is, which is a Ryzen 7 4700U. Their competitions, their competitor, their imitators, as they've mentioned so many times, and it's just... Come on, Intel. You for once had a chance for me to say, good on you. You did good. This is something that I can appreciate. You've actually put some time into. And I appreciate, the engineering and that, and I will say they did a good job. But they didn't. Why? Because, Intel wants to be Intel, and Intel does what Intel does. So instead, they can, reference the competition so many times compared to their own stuff that it's just ridiculous. They call AMD names, calling them imitators and that lot. It's like, come on, Intel. Like, you're supposed to be professionals, for crying out loud. Stop trying to be children. Because it doesn't look professional. It makes you look as if you've got a marketing team that is of the age of 5 or less. Like, come on. You're a big company. And sure, whilst you may have lost all respect from absolutely everybody in the PC community, in the custom community, in literally every sense of every community, you may have lost the respect there. That doesn't mean that it suddenly gives you the right to start acting like you don't have any respect back. You want to get respect back? You want to get people buying your stuff? Act professional. It's simple. It's not difficult. You've been doing it for long enough. Sorry for the small rant. It's just, I'm just annoyed with Intel. Like, they had a chance to do stuff genuinely correct, and instead they decide to just act like they're 5. It's just like, you had a chance, Intel. You had a good chance. You had probably the best chance that you've had in a while, and you still couldn't do it right. Oh well. Maybe one day Intel will finally earn the respect of gamers and that lot alike. It's just that day's not anytime soon at all. Oh well. Well, it could be worse. It could be worse. I'm not sure how it could be worse. I'm just saying it could be. Just have a drink. And in other news, Epic and their whole spat with it, with Google and Apple, that's still going on. Can you believe all the stuff that's gone on the past few weeks? Like, it's been a crazy few weeks, to be fair. Not necessarily a good crazy, but it has been a crazy few weeks, and crazier than I'd have expected in a long time. Oh well. Also, there should be new games coming out soon. Actually, you know, I've been that busy with hardware news and Intel and just trying to go ahead and deal with Nvidia and all that. I've completely forgotten to check what new games are coming out in like the next couple of months. Like, seriously, I don't have a clue. I know I should have a clue. Like, if anything, I really should have a clue, but I've just been that busy with just hardware news and all the stuff that's gone on there that I don't have a clue. So please, put in the comments any new games that are coming out, please, just let me know so I can actually look at maybe getting them at some point. What is new? Flight Sim's new, that's fun. Microsoft Flight Sim is fun. But really is going to, it's going to appreciate the new generation cards because it is a monster to run. And I do mean a monster. And it's kind of poorly optimized. This isn't me saying, oh, I got no performance because it's poorly optimized. I've got no performance because it is genuinely badly optimized. And like, I was playing it, I was trying to just go ahead and test out the power supply on my little PC. And I thought, I'll put on a really strenuous game, Microsoft Flight Sim. It is a ridiculously brutal game on your system. Yet for some reason it was stuck at 30% GPU usage and only 10% CPU usage, and as a result got almost no FPS. It's like, what's going on, Microsoft? You know, you're supposed to fix this kind of stuff. Why am I suddenly getting 0 performance when obviously it's not that my GPU is terrible because it's not being used, it's just not being utilized. You know, it's a 1080 and a 3900X. And it's not like I don't have enough RAM because I've got 32 gigs for crying out loud. What's the issue? I haven't found out yet. I'll let you guys know if I do find an issue at some point, but for the time being, that I've got no issue. Well, no solution to my issue. It's kind of a pain because I do like Microsoft Flight Sim, but these performance issues are just ridiculous. I just want to play I just want to play Flight Sim. I want to fly in the clouds, but I can't. Why? Because I just don't have any performance, and it's ridiculous. Also, this bit's fun. Boom. Sorry, I couldn't help myself there. But you know what I mean? It's just it's a pain. You want to play a game and you can't. And actually, this is where I have to call the video because we're running out of time because I've been talking for ages. Can you believe it? How long have I been talking now? Jesus. But yeah, we'll go ahead and end it here in a couple of seconds. Whoa! I'm sorry. What was that? Sorry, okay, he was twitching. Anyway. We'll go ahead and end the video here. So, as I always like to say, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you don't like it. Any thoughts or questions, leave them in the form of a comments down below. Don't forget to check out my Discord, Patreon, Twitch, and Facebook pages, all of which you can find down in the description down below. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more content from me. As always, this is the 117 Con, signing off. Hopefully it'll be me and Kydros this time next week. But in the meantime, stay safe out there, folks, and ta-ra. Until next time.